Otherwise, it may be something more general as to go to the direct nature of a larger public, or more than simply one viewer at all. Whereas when I am able to speak with Ray one-on-one, we get to a greater level of specificity as to the teaching that be more specifically for me and her personally. And though we have no problem sharing this teaching, it would be the sharing of this teaching as the sharing of a teaching versus the giving of the teaching actually, as you're not the one giving that particular teaching specifically. And so it's not really something that's relevant contextually until a time in which we bring it into the shared conversation of the moment within this video. And so then the viewers that have been watching consistently throughout the entire duration of the videoing will then have context as to what it is that teaching and learning and unique specificity really is meaning. Yeah, they're really all very simple. All of consciousness is all very, very simple. The truth is the most simple thing there is. It's here written in our faces, everywhere we ever go, everything we ever look at. It's written in the patterns of our cells, of our bodies. It's expressed through us in every way possibly. We can see it in the texture and the smoothness of our identity. I can tell your realization based on how you feel to me, if your smoothness and or your rigidity, if you're well or healthy. We can feel these things and we can be much more honest with ourselves, but we've been worried about beauty and vanity. We just can't be honest when we see somebody's yellow eyes mean that they have a liver condition or whatever else, you know. And we can say something to them when we see this because we care about them like we care about ourselves. If I were to look into a mirror and see myself in any way that I saw to be unhealthy, I would say something to me. Of course, I would also explain to myself that I didn't really know what I was talking about if I was explaining what I thought it to be absolutely. Because I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. I would have to look something up. So that's more the dialogue I would go to. Holy crap, bro, there's something going on with you. You gotta figure it out. You know, and like, what have you been doing, you idiot? Come on, you gotta love yourself. I'd be all kinds of funny with me. Kind of harsh I am. I'm kind of a tough guy, you know, when it comes to words. Me and my friends used to say mean stuff to each other. It's like a friendship thing when we were young. So I have a lot more harsh verbiage than others when it comes to terms of endearment than maybe some more of the more polite natures of the spiritual communities that may be listening to me at this time. Hopefully I align with everybody very centeredly, and that we can see how silly it is for us to judge our frequencies and think about intelligence as something as swearing or propriety. You know, it really destroys our ability to learn from teachers that are authentic, because they may be swearers, you know, and it may not actually be something right or wrong, that everything may not really actually be judged within the truthful, most eternal song. And so it would be silly for us to not be able to hear the wisdom of another just because of the words of their mouth not aligning with our ego identities, you know. There's a lot of the ways that I could push any kind of subtle reality just through my expression, actually. And I don't express in this way in order to go in dissonance against anything. I simply express myself genuinely as I wish to be, as it's coming to me to be expressing. If I express this way or that way, I'm surrendering and allowing and trusting it to do so, breathing, allowing the syllables to guide me, hoping that because I do this, and because everything does this, and I'm not really a doer, that this is perfect and that it's a benefit. And so that's kind of what these videos are proving to me in some ways, that somehow, with me trusting and being so vulnerable as doing this in long durations, that it actually is bringing through wisdom that may benefit other beings, and that means that my genuine expression, just naturally as it is, and the things that it just wishes to express about constantly all the time, are helpful and relevant, and can be respected and honored, and have purpose. And so there's place for it. And so that helps me see that there's place for me in a big way as well, and gives me a great confidence, love, and belief in myself that continues my growing in a huge, amazing way. That I believe in myself so much that I have no reason to give myself to slavery, because I am a limitless being, and that I am provided for by everything by just simply giving myself completely, fully to everything, without the requirement for anything else but that sustaining itself. And it really is sustaining itself. All the abundance and everything that I've needed has been there with me right when I needed it. And only laziness could have ever made it seem different. But even at those times when I didn't have the weed I wanted for the evening, that was even a beautiful perfection that brought me into a meditation, a learning, and a growth that I seemed to be, again, utter perfection and my highest benefit, and I can't see my life without it. It really becomes hard for me to guide myself, control myself, or lead myself to not have any mistake or confusion occur, any kind of movement, desire, or emotion because of how perfect it has all become, or how it's always been, or how it's been, or how it will always be, or how it always is. I just have to constantly continue allowing me, trusting more and more everything, and my harmony and simultaneous movement with it all perfectly, that I'm not really doing, that I am witnessing, and that I can allow more and more myself. And that even my talking about allowing myself more and more is really just me watching my being go through the dialogue of allowing itself more and more, when I still am simply just watching that occur. And it's such an amazing thing. It's like, how can I even express that? Just through my focus on that noticing. Does it come up with its entire line of sentencery to articulate what it is that I've been observing? That's why I know words go with everything. If I look at anything, there's going to be a giant verbiage and sentence work, there's going to be paragraphs, there's going to be all kinds of ways to distinguish that, to speak about it authentically and articulate it specifically as to how it is that it works with me, and identify it to the whole of reality and the truth of my experience up until that point in mention. It's amazing. And how, because of the words being here, I hold a center really easily, and I move with a really graceful, utter fluidity with everything, quite eloquently, greater than ever before when I was forcing me and trying to route my thoughts to not be. I was breathing so constantly, and anything come to me, they're trying to disturb me from my breathing, bring me into thought and talk. Get away from me, you bastard! You know, it's so ridiculous, you know, what a fixation. Didn't even see how much I was renouncing and banishing everything, you know. Now I still might send something away from me because I don't appreciate their taking from me in some kind of weird way, but I believe that's the giving of wisdom, and I don't do that against them, but I just feel. And I just let the moment decide for me what it is that I feel in that moment and how it is I'm going to be. And that always shows me how it is I am to be. It's always really beautiful and amazing. Thank you so much, darling. Yeah, just really phenomenal. I gotta keep on heating up this coffee. I didn't put the lid on, so it just cools down super fast. Oh, you're the greatest, you know that? Remy Fossilatido, everyone, our beautiful camera lady, the most amazing.